You are now listening to the IELTS podcast.
Hello there, podcast listeners and future successful IELTS students. In this episode, what we're going to do is look at different ways of getting motivated to do the exam. And I decided to do this episode because I got a lot of emails from students, from you, saying that they're finding it hard to get motivated, to find the energy to keep on doing these tests, because it's quite common, especially nowadays, for students to fail the exam and then have to start all over again from what seems like zero, to start all over again and start the preparation, start studying, doing all the practice exams, and it can be quite a pain. So this podcast is going to look at techniques to get motivated, to organize your time, and strategies to keep yourself motivated, and how to get the momentum and really move things along. So the first one that I want to explain is called the 5 a day. What this means is very simple, but it's rather powerful. And what it means is that every day you decide to do 5 small tasks that are going to get you closer to your goal. And for example, one task could be that you directly copy with a pen and paper a Band 9 essay. You go online, find a perfectly written essay with all the good examples and everything, and you just write it down, pen and paper, you write it down. Okay, that could be one task. Another task could be to do the look, cover, reproduce, or look, cover, write technique, where literally you just look at a sentence, cover it up, write it out, and then check. I think it's look, cover, write, check, something like that. And you could do a whole essay like that, and that could be your second task of the day. Now, another technique, the first couple are for writing, there's some for speaking as well, so don't worry. Another technique would be to go online and you can find what's called a close test creator, and that's close spelt with a Z. And what you do is you copy a piece of text, maybe an IELTS essay, then you paste it into this box, into the website, and you choose, sorry about that, you choose which one to eliminate from what, you choose whether to eliminate articles, prepositions, TH words, WH words, whichever. And then you get a gap fill exercise, and you have to go through putting in all the correct articles or all the correct prepositions. This is another task, and the idea is that each day in your diary or on your phone, you tick off these 5 tasks that you've done. Okay, and doing this every day, taking these small steps, is a lot easier and a lot more, it's a more solid preparation than going crazy a week before the exam studying like mad. Because like we know, language is all about repetition, and this is a steady way, and it's not that difficult to start because it's quite kind of small tasks, and it's basically about getting momentum. And if you do this all month, that's 150 single tasks you've got, and 150 tasks will definitely get you closer to passing the IELTS. Now, I'm going to give you a few more tasks, and by the way, if you go to the website, you'll be able to find the Getting Motivated for IELTS post, the actual text there, and in the actual text you'll see all the links to the resources I'm talking about, the closed test generator, and all the rest of them. Now, another piece of advice, another task you could do is you can use a timer. Go to timertab.com or something like that, and you can set the timer for 50 minutes, 55 minutes, whatever. Yeah, but usually between 45 and 55 minutes is the best period of time, and you can work in a solid block just entirely on focusing on one of those tasks that we've just mentioned. And working in blocks like this with the phone switched off is a very good way to just completely focus and channel your energy, making that 45 minutes or 50 minutes much more productive than it would have been if you're just there with the telly on in the corner, you're texting on the phone, and then you've got an IELTS practice exam in front of you, for example. Okay, now what you do then is you work solid for 50 minutes, and you stop, have a cup of tea, go for a walk, and then you come back after 10 minutes, set the timer again, and after 10 minutes go back and just do another 50-minute block. This way you can get a lot more done, trust me. Now, a very interesting point, which I think you'll definitely agree with, is it's a concept called taking massive action. Okay, so what I want you to do is take massive action to pass the IELTS. And to get the ball rolling in this, because like we said, it's difficult it's not difficult to say I'm going to pass the IELTS this month, I'm going to go crazy, there's no options, blah blah blah. It's easy to say that, but in reality it's often difficult to get started. After 2 or 3 days you can get burnt out. So my advice, which I'd strongly recommend, is not to go for a massive sort of like say I'm going to get it, I'm going to go crazy for this score. My advice would be to do something that relies on habits, and do these 5 tasks. Start off with 5 small tasks, make it into a habit, and if it becomes a habit, then it's much more likely to be followed through and maintained. Whereas if you're just relying on self-discipline, it's much easier and a lot more emotional if it doesn't come through. Because if it doesn't come through, you think, oh man, I'm a failure, why can't do anything. Whereas if you just take the small steps, get the momentum, start with these 5 small tasks, later you can increase the size of the tasks as you get closer to the exam, but get into the habit of doing 5 a day. Okay, 5 small tasks a day and you will start. Okay, and now the good thing about this is that if you do decide, for example, to write out an essay, 1 task 2 essay a day, well, you probably want to get it checked. And if you're sending them to me, if you've bought the sentence guide and you're working through it, that's good news, because you'll more than likely get your essay back in 24 hours. So that fits in well with the 5 a day and getting into a habit and taking the small steps and just moving forward. Another thing I should mention about the sentence guide is that every time you send me an essay and I review it and then send it back, there will always be some encouragement and some motivation there, and some recognition as well for writing the essay, for taking the initiative, for implementing what you've learned. And more than anything, it's just, I know what it's like when you're doing this, when you're studying and it seems like a battle and you're getting feedback, and we can get a little bit sensitive about the work. You know, one student the other day said, I got my work corrected, and the teacher said I was using language from a high school, or high school level language. And when you get comments like that, it doesn't really help. What I'm trying to say is that you'll get recognition, you'll get some encouragement, which may seem like very little, but trust me, it does make a massive difference when somebody recognizes your work and pushes you in the right direction. But the idea is you take massive action, you commit to doing 5 tasks and then eventually build it up and maintain it. There's no point doing 2 hours of 2 days of 18-hour study days and then nothing for the rest of the month. It's much more effective if you do an hour, 2 hours a day for 20 days. And it's the repetition, it's the momentum, it's getting the habit and maintaining it. Now, one way to really compound this, one way to make this stick is called the 100% rule. Now, the 100% rule states that you will do it no matter what. No matter what happens. Okay? And for example, if you just decide, okay, I'm going to commit to this 5 a day rule, means you're going to do 5 every single day. And it doesn't matter what the tasks are, preferably they'll be more meaningful and substantial tasks, of course, but you'll commit to doing them 100%. So you're lying in bed and you think, sugar, I didn't write out an IELTS Task 2 essay. Okay, jump out of bed, bang, 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 and write it 100%. Okay? And this is a powerful rule. And because with this rule, there's basically no debate. There is no battle in your mind whether you are going to do it or not, or whether you can put it off till tomorrow. It's 100%, and if you've made the promise, you can just move forward and just do it. You've committed. 100% is 100%. So that's the 100% rule. Now, the final rule may seem a little bit woo-woo, a little bit out there, okay? But I use this tool a lot. And there's 2 different levels of using this tool. Now, the first one is for the big picture, is to maintaining and getting into the motivation, into a motivated mindset to maintain the 5 a day for 3 months or for 4 months. And basically what it means is just getting obsessed with this and working yourself up into a frenzy and getting so obsessed with this that you're just doing it all day and you're thinking about it all day and you're moving towards it. Okay, now one technique for getting yourself so crazy obsessed over something is to start visualizing it. Yeah, start visualizing yourself opening up your computer, logging onto IELTS.org, and then logging into your IELTS account, and then seeing all the band 7s and 7.5s and band 8s for each different discipline, and then imagining that you've got it, imagining that you've finally overcome this hurdle. And doing this almost programs your brain, and you start thinking about it, and the more times you can recall this future event that you've created in your mind, the more motivated you will get. And this is what professional athletes do as well. They imagine themselves lifting up the gold for the Olympics. They go through the whole race, the whole event, and they imagine themselves doing it. Honestly, you just need to go just do a search for it, visualization pro athletes or something like that, and you'll find millions and millions of pages all dedicated to doing this. Okay, and it's a strong and powerful technique, but once again, it takes a while to implement it, so maybe you could include it as one of those tasks. Now, the final tip, okay, is a much more practical one. For example, use this one when you know that you're going to have to study and there's a possibility that you might sack it off, or that you might not actually do it and you'll find something else to do, and you'll push your study aside. And this technique helps you avoid this, because what you do is, it's visualization again, but say if you're walking home, what you can do is visualize yourself sitting down at the desk, working hard, and actually see yourself in your mind sitting down, writing out an essay, doing a look, cover, write, check exercise, doing these tasks, and then like feeling well. You can't imagine visualize yourself feeling well, but you can visualize yourself with a smile on your face and getting through it, working towards your goals. And doing this will make it more likely that when you do get home, you will follow through and you'll do the actual tasks. Okay, it's a good way to get yourself motivated into doing these kinds of tasks. Just imagine yourself sitting down and working, and then when it actually comes to it, it makes it much easier. Now, if you actually go to the website and go to IELTS Podcast and do a search for this actual podcast and the actual text that accompanies it, you'll see a few motivation videos there that will definitely help. Okay, and a few of them you can just plug into your, you can go to MP3 Ripper or whatever, or vid to MP3, and get the MP3 because they're from YouTube, these videos. You can download the MP3 and put it on your MP3 player or onto your mobile, whatever, and start listening to it a lot. And yeah, there's one by C.T. Fletcher, that crazy Afro-American gym dude, and then there's one from, I think it's from a sports advert, I'm not so sure, but it's really good and it will get you motivated, trust me. It's one of those things that you listen to and you cannot get motivated. So have a look at the website, and yeah, remember, the only way you're going to get through it is by taking the first step and just continually moving forwards to your goal. And this is why the 5 a day is such a powerful but simple technique to move you forward, get the ball rolling, and to get you on the path for passing IELTS. Now, if you you can either do this alone, or you can either go to a centre. The centres, I find, are a little bit expensive, and the quality of the teaching is a bit 50-50, to be honest. I mean, sometimes you'll get an experienced tutor, but none of them will put their neck on the line. None of them will guarantee it. Okay, so if you do need a guarantee, and you do need to and you do find that you would work better with somebody looking at your essays and helping you out there, well, send me an email and ask me about the sentence guide. And yeah, by the way, sorry, almost forgot. Now the sentence guide is covering task 1 essays as well. So you're going to do about, I think you write about 10 essays in total. There's 3 which are self-study essays, which you do, and then after that you start writing essays which I send you, and then you send it back to me and I correct it. But also now there are academic task 1 essays included for the same price. So not only are you going to get your task 2 completely under control, you're also going to get valuable feedback which will help you improve a lot, and you get the valuable feedback which will help you with task 1, whether it's general or academic. Okay, so have a look at that if you're having a bit of a tough time with your writing. And also check out the new IELTS resources section as well. There you'll find links for proofreading, for getting your CV checked, for lots of different other services that might be of value to you. Okay, well, all the best. Keep going forward. Remember to check out this podcast, the actual post, so you can get all the links, so you can get the full benefit. And yeah, keep going, really. It's a matter of persistence over any other quality. Just persistence, repetition, moving forward. And one final thought: when you actually did your when you were born, you didn't know how to speak a language, and you've learnt it over the time. So if you've learnt one language, it's definitely not going to be difficult to learn another language. And do it now, because as you get older, learning anything gets more difficult. Okay, all the best.